Good morning, viewers. Let us continue the last topics of uncertainty principle and de Broglie concept. Okay, now we'll see how far these de Broglie wavelength and uncertainty principles are applicable in our everyday life. Okay, right? De Broglie's concept says what? Every particle of mass moving with a velocity v will have some matter wave associated with it. Means it has wave nature. Then why don't we see this wave nature in our everyday life? Okay, I don't find my wavelength or my matter wave, or I don't even find the wavelength of this pen also, or when the pen is moving I don't see its matter wave. Okay, similarly uncertainty principle. Okay, when a car is going on the road, I can find out its mass, I can find out its velocity accurately. Okay, a position also accurately. Uncertainty principles are not apparent in our everyday life. Okay, why? We'll see now. Consider a small problem here. An electron is moving with a velocity of 1000 meters per second. Its de Broglie wavelength is, okay, so lambda equal to h by mv. Mass of the electron is 9.1 in 10 to the power minus 31 kg is known to us. It is moving with a velocity of 1000 meters per second. Now, whenever you want to solve problems quickly, okay, for electron mass, instead of 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31, you can approximate the value. Okay, I'll take this as 9.1 as 10. Okay, so 10 into 10 to the power minus 31, simply it will be 10 to the power minus 30. Okay, in order to solve problems very quickly, you can make this approximation. Later on, right, whatever answer is close to your whatever option is very close to your answer, you can choose that. Okay, so what did I do actually? I have slightly increased the value of mass. In the denominator, I have increased the value of the denominator, means what? The lambda value I will be getting will be slightly less than the actual option. So choose an option which is slightly more than whatever answer you get. Okay, but that helps you in solving problems quickly. So this is 10 to the power minus 30 into 10 to the power 3. Okay, that is nothing but 10 to the power 27. H value is 6.6 in 10 to the power minus 34. Okay, this 27 goes up and becomes 10 to the power minus plus 27 minus 34, it is minus 7. So 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 7 meters. Okay, in terms of angstroms, what should I do? 1 meter equal to 10 to the power 10 angstroms. So this comes to around 6.6 into 10 to the power 3. Okay, 10 to the power 3, that is 6600 angstroms. Means, right, the de Broglie wavelength of the electron is 6600 angstroms, means it is a tremendously big value. Okay, right, actually, right, the wavelength cannot be that big because size of the atom itself is 1 angstrom, 2 angstrom, 3 angstroms. Whereas de Broglie wavelength of this electron in this particular example is around 6600 angstroms, means nearly matter of 5000 angstroms. In which atom the electron is present, we cannot tell. Means this is a very large value of what you call de Broglie wavelength for an electron. Means the concept of de Broglie matter waves is very prominent in the case of electrons when we are talking about. Same problem, what I'll do is, right, instead of an electron, I'll throw this pen with some same velocity 1000 meters per second. Say the mass of this pen is 100 grams. Okay, a 100 grams pen is thrown with a velocity of 1000 meters per second. Then what will be its de Broglie wavelength? Okay, de Broglie wavelength of the electron, we got a very large value, very prominent value. It cannot be that big also actually. Okay, same thing if I do it with my pen, the same problem, lambda equal to 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 34 by what is mass of the pen? 100 grams, m into v. Okay, grams means 10 to the power minus 3 kg into velocity is 10 to the power 3. 1000 meters per second. That is 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 34 by 100. Okay, this 100 goes up and becomes plus 2. Okay, minus 2. So it is 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 36 meters. Okay, now I want to convert this into angstrom. So into 10 to the power 10. Okay, that is equal to 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 26 angstroms is the de Broglie wavelength of the matter wave of this pen. Okay, 10 to the power minus 26 angstroms means 10 to angstrom itself is an extremely small unit. Okay, 10 to the power minus 2 angstroms is picometers, 10 to the power minus 5 angstroms is femtometer, 10 to the power minus 18 is attometer, 10 to the power minus 26, what it is called as, even I don't know. Okay, this is an extremely small wavelength. This small wavelength cannot be measured not only today, but even after 100 years it is impossible. Okay, means is this pen not having de Broglie wavelength? It is having de Broglie wavelength, but its value is extremely small. Okay, such a small value which is immeasurable, I can say it is equal to 0 only. That's why, right, I cannot see the matter wave of this pen, okay, right, but I can see the matter wave of the electron as a very big one. 6,600 angstroms for an electron is extremely big, whereas for my pen it is 10 to the power minus 26 angstroms. Means that's why questions will come in most of the competitive exams, right? De Broglie concept and uncertainty principle are applicable for, that is a question. They'll give 4 options: microscopic particles only, or subatomic particles only, macroscopic particles only, both microscopic and macroscopic particles, for no particles, something like that. 4 options will be given. Okay, I'm finding in some of the books that it is applicable for microscopic particles only. No, De Broglie concept and uncertainty principle are applicable for all particles. Remember, only thing is for microscopic particles they give you, right, measurable or meaningful or prominent results. Okay, for macroscopic particles also I can apply, right, but only thing is I'll get meaningless results. That's all. It is not that they are not applicable, they are fundamental aspects of nature. Remember, uncertainty principle is a fundamental aspect of nature applicable for, right, the minutest particle to the biggest particle. Earth also you can apply, whether you need that accuracy or not. Okay, see, how far is my house from this place means what is answer you can expect: 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers, 7 kilometers, like that. But nobody, you don't expect me to say 5 kilometers, 600 meters, 34 centimeters, 2 millimeters plus or minus. Means that much accuracy is not required, okay, when that's large distances are measured. Okay, similarly, uncertainty principle and what you call De Broglie concept, we don't use them in our everyday life. Not that they are not applicable, they give meaninglessly small results. Okay, immeasurably small values will be given, so we can ignore. Okay, these principles will become prominent only at subatomic level. Why? Okay, why means it is the culprit is Planck's constant. Remember, the culprit is the Planck's constant. If Planck's, because Planck's constant is 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 34, particles which are having masses or velocities of that order, 10 to the power minus 31 for an electron, 10 to the power minus 27 for protons and neutrons, like that, we will get meaningful results. Okay, but in our everyday life we don't use extremely small particles. The small particles means 1 gram, 2 gram, even 0.1 gram or microgram also. That becomes extremely small compared to 10 to the power minus 34. We'll get meaningless results. It is not like that. Well, like see, in our everyday life we use scales only normally with inches divisions or centimeters and millimeter divisions. We don't use vernier calipers or we don't use a screw gauge. Okay, right? What is my height means or what is the length of this pen means we simply use a scale and say it is 5 or 7 centimeters or 8 centimeters, sufficient. That much accuracy is sufficient. Okay, right? It is not that I cannot use a vernier calipers or a screw gauge for this. I can make one big screw gauge and use this and find out the length of this pen as accurately up to 1/100th of a millimeter, but I don't need that much of accuracy. Okay, so I don't use a screw gauge here. It does not mean that screw gauge is not applicable. Okay, so, but when I want to find the radius of my hair, okay, then normal scale will not be useful. I have to go for screw gauge only. Okay, so we'll use an instrument or we use a formula where it gives you meaningful or prominent results. Same is the case here also, right? Because Max Planck's constant h is an extremely small value. Okay, right? So parameters which have values in that order only will have meaningful results. Okay, right? By chance, if Max Planck's constant h, instead of minus 34, if it is 10 to the power minus 3 or 10 to the power plus 3, then these uncertainty principle and De Broglie's concept would have been prominent in our everyday life also. You won't be seeing me as a person standing from here to here. You will see my De Broglie wave like this. Okay, from that end of the board to this end of the board. Okay, like the same is the case for me also. You will also be like De Broglie waves only. I won't see you as persons. Okay, why that is not becoming possible? Because Planck's constant is minute, it's extremely small. Okay, so parameters which are of the order of that 10 to the power minus 34 will give meaningful results. Okay, normal everyday objects, we don't need the accuracy with which a car is moving up to 1 angstrom or 2 angstrom. That's not meaningful at all. Okay, so it is not that, remember again, uncertainty principle and De Broglie concepts are applicable for all particles. That should be your answer. Okay, only thing is we use them mostly for microscopic particles because they give meaningful results. Okay, right? Why is that happening? The difference between classical physics and quantum physics is the what you call H. Okay, wherever H is used in the formula, we have to go for quantum physics. Where H is not there, classical physics is sufficient. Okay, remember, classical physics not totally useless physics. Okay, even today, rockets, what you call trains and cars, everything run with classical physics only. We don't use quantum mechanics in our everyday life. Quantum mechanics comes into picture only when I am talking about subatomic particles. Earth is moving around sun. We don't have to apply quantum mechanics. Not that quantum mechanics will give wrong results. Quantum mechanics will give correct results only, but I don't need that much of accuracy. Whether Earth is 1.2 angstrom that side or this side around the sun is unimportant to us. So we don't use, right, quantum physics there. Everyday life, even today, runs with classical physics only. Rockets, right, go up in air. Okay, aeroplanes are flying, right, ships are moving, right, trains are moving, using classical physics and Newtonian laws only, not quantum mechanics laws. But when I apply same Newtonian laws to a subatomic particle like electron or proton, I won't get correct results. Okay, see, quantum mechanics is applicable at the minutest scale to the largest scale, but classical physics is applicable only at large scale. It completely fails at microscopic level. At microscopic level, I have to use quantum mechanics only. Okay, H comes into picture. Wherever we find H in the formula, it means that it is quantum physics. Okay, right, this is one important aspect which you have to keep in mind in solving problems. That's a popular question. It has come 2-3 times in many exams, what I have seen, right? Uncertainty principle, de Broglie concept, etc. Are they applicable only for microscopic particles? No, please keep that in mind. Okay, so this is about wave particle duality. We have seen, right, particles behave like waves and waves behave like particles. Okay, now if I throw this pen, like this, standing here, okay, I'm standing here, and if I throw my pen like this, it goes and falls like this. At what distance it falls, to what height it raises, okay, what will be its maximum velocity, what will be its minimum velocity, etc. things. We use that in 10+2 level projectile motion. You can easily calculate what is the maximum height to which it will raise depending on the angle at which it is thrown, what is the range of the particle, what is its velocity at various points, etc. Classical mechanics explains beautifully and correctly also. But instead of my pen, if I throw an electron, just now we have seen electrons are capable of behaving like waves with considerable wavelength and what you call considerable wavelength. Okay, when suddenly, as long as the electron behaves like a pure particle, Newtonian mechanics is applicable. But we have seen electron has wave tendency in it, inherently present. That wave factor also is inherently present in the electron. So if electron suddenly starts behaving like a wave, classical mechanics or Newtonian mechanics cannot explain this. Okay, as long as particles behave like particles, waves behave like waves, classical physics is good. But just now in modern physics, in wave particle duality, what have we seen? Sometimes particles behave like waves, sometimes waves behave like particles. When this double tendency, dual nature comes into picture, classical physics fails abruptly. Okay, so I am in need of a new mechanics, I am in need of new mathematics to describe the motion of the electron. Let it behave like a particle or like a wave, right? That single equation of motion, single mechanics should be able to explain, right, all aspects of electron. Okay, and that equation should be applicable for normal particles which we use in everyday life, and for electrons also. Electrons wave nature is very prominent. Okay, that job was given initially to Heisenberg. He has developed what is known as matrix mechanics. Okay, but matrix mechanics is slightly complicated. Okay, so then Schrödinger took up that problem, and he has arrived at one equation known as most popular equation and the famous equation known as Schrödinger's wave equation. Okay, from there onwards, a new branch in physics started known as quantum mechanics or wave mechanics. Mechanics of a wave, or right, quantum mechanics means quantum nature of the electron or what you call light. Okay, right, mechanics of a wave mechanics or quantum mechanics we call. Quantum mechanics means what? Okay, that is nothing but particle aspect of light is known as quantum. Wave mechanics means, right, waves behaving like particles. Okay, waves behaving like particles and particles behaving like waves. Let anybody behave like anybody. I am in need of one new equation. I am in need of new mechanics, okay, which is capable of handling both aspects of those particles. Okay, right, that was established by Schrodinger, okay, in around 1924, Schrodinger came out with the most popular equation known as Schrodinger's wave equation. Okay, from here onwards, a new branch in physics has started, right? Almost 100 years old. Okay, nobody has found a failure of quantum mechanics till now. Okay, Schrodinger wave equation is found to be applicable always. Okay, of course, Schrodinger wave equation is applicable for non-relativistic particles. For relativistic particles, right, Schrodinger wave equation gets modified and new wave equations have come. Okay, Dirac's equation and Klein-Gordon equation, like that. Okay, so Schrodinger wave equation is basically applicable for non-relativistic particles. Okay, that will cover up in the next video. Thank you.